Alright, Physick. How to come at this book, I've already said, this is not an always easy read. James has told you to read the preface, and I would also urge you to read the preface. The preface provides you with the map of the book that you need, I think. And I didn't realise this. I thought, well, it's poetry. You don't explain poetry, you don't describe poetry, you just give it to people, and they make of it what they want. And my publisher said, a preface please, telling people what's going on here. And I resisted it, as I do. I resist every good idea, because it wasn't mine. And then I gave in, and I am so glad that I did. That was an inspired ask on the part of my publisher. Also read the notes, particularly for the first section. There are notes, extensive notes on the poems at the back, and again these provide you with the poems of the first section, the section that James has already told you is subtitled Physick. These are poems written in obsolete vernaculars, and they're not the meanings of words that have passed into time, phrases that have passed into time, are not always clear and present. They're not always clear and present to me. They were when I wrote them, but every now and then I look at a word and I say, what the hell does that mean? And I no longer remember, but I wrote these poems. These are extensions of the sort of the monologues in vernacular voices that I explored in Last Days of the Mill. And they extend my love affair with the poetic vividness of the vernacular language of ordinary people and their knockabout speech. Thomas Fuller, an 18th century Physick, in a book wonderfully entitled Gnomenology, that's gnome with a G in front of it, wrote that ordinary people are much taken with the clinking of syllables. I love that. And it's just that synergistic clinking of syllables that I've striven for in the poems in the first section of the book. Now, as I've said, these poems deploy a vernacular that is no longer apparent in terms of the meaning maps that people carry with them. Now, how do you handle this? Well, I wrote these to be read out loud, or at least to be read seamlessly. So when you read them, just follow the punctuation. Follow the clinking of the syllables. Don't get stuck on words. Don't concern yourself with dictionary definitions. The context should supply all the meaning you need. Now again, my publisher said, well, that's all very well, but a lot of the meanings of these words are actually counterintuitive and can't be connoted from the context in which they're used. Okay, so I grumbled again and spat about and scratched myself and gave in, and a lot more of these words are in fact explained in the notes at the back. But by and large, I hope I've stuck true to my premise. I don't want to insult the reader's capacity to imaginatively invest meanings into the poems. So that's what you should do. If it's counterintuitive, the meaning's counterintuitive, doesn't suggest the actual context, doesn't suggest the meaning, you'll find a meaning supplied. Otherwise, keep reading and you'll know what it means. The skin will tell you what it means, even if that click-clack in front of the brain doesn't supply the meaning.